Well, we all know the saying, a picture tells 1,000 words, but I don't think 1,000 words is going to be quite enough for some of the pictures we're about to discuss with TOC members Mary Hilvers and her mum, Judy Johnston. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me for a chat.
Thank you.
Mary, I'll start with you. The
Okay.
TOC posts winners circle photos on its social channels after every race at Santa Anita. And a few weeks ago, when your horse Kings River Knight won yet again, he's been on fire of late. You replied to the post with this photo of your dad, the legendary Buddy Johnston, from 13 years prior. The similarities of the two photos are striking. Why don't you tell us what prompted you to share that photo of your dad and a little bit about the story behind it?
Well, when I saw your post and the pictures of Mom and I each, hugging the jockey, hugging JJ, like we do every time, it just reminded me of the one I knew that I had seen before and had in my phone actually of Dad. And I thought, oh, I think I have the same cheesy smile that he does. So it just reminded me of it. So proud of Kings River Knight and his daddy Acclamation. They do remind me a lot of each other, the horses themselves. We always said that Acclamation's got the heart the size of Texas, and looks like Kings River Knight does as well.
Yeah, it's an amazing story. And as you mentioned too, of course, there was a photo of your mum, Judy, a similar photo that also looked very similar to that one from 13 years ago when Acclamation, and that was when Acclamation won the Pacific Classic as well, of course, we should mention. And Judy, those silks, of course, they're pretty famous, aren't they? Can you tell us a little bit about them?
Well, we started with them probably in about 1950,
Wow.
and I believe they're the oldest running silks in California right now. So we've always liked red and white. My father-in-law, when he had the Johnston Pie Company, his trucks were red and white, so that was his favorite color, and we've just carried it on. Plus, it's very easy to see when you're in the grandstand. The red and white, it's easy to see.
And
Especially if they get in front and don't look back.
so, Judy, you mentioned those silks go back to the 1950s. Can you take us back to then and how your family got into racing and how it all began?
Well, yes, up to a point, because it's quite a while ago, but my father-in-law, Elwood Johnston, started right around 1950. He bought one horse back east called English Harry and brought him out here. And next thing you know, he was buying a mare and buying it. The first piece of land we had was like 25 acres, and we had like 5 horses, 6 horses. It just kept growing, and then we had to move to bigger pieces of land. And we did most of that in the Inland Valley around Chino and Ontario, that area. And so that's where we raised them. And then how many years ago we decided we better get some, land was getting too expensive down south, so we got some land up here, and we're in 1984, we're in a beautiful spot up here on the Kings River. And that's why it's a good name for the horse. We're on the Kings River. It's so now our land is up here, and we love it up here.
And talk to me about Buddy. How, I guess, important has his contribution been to racing over the years in California and the country?
We have been very important. His dad started with those few horses, and then he started a partnership with Buddy like when he was 15, 16 years old. And Buddy always ran the ranch. And at the time, his dad would run the track. And then as his dad got older, Buddy was doing both the ranch and the track. And we were one of the first people that sort of went into having more than just one person owning a horse, and we got to 2 or 3, and we'd bring him into like 7 or 8 horses at a time, and it was a new event. They weren't used to people having horses. And in fact, Wayne Lucas asked me about it when I was back there a few years ago. He said, "How do I go about getting more owners in like you do?" And so I told him what we'd done, and next thing I know, he's got a horse with 2,500 owners. So I guess I guess he took it seriously.
You're of course referring to Seize the Grey winning the Preakness with
Right.
the Grey Horse,
Yes.
My Racehorse ownership group. Yeah, well, so you could be credited effectively with starting the syndication kind of model and inviting.
Yes, yes, that was one of Buddy's big ideas. And at first I thought, but now people are doing it a lot now.
Yeah.
Many years ago that
Yeah,
Dad did
that
that, and it's been great for us, in trying to, like I had mentioned, we're making some cutbacks and things like that, but bringing new people in I love it. I have people that I went to school with, grade school, that are my partner in Kings Overnight, Ken. He and I went to school together since 4th grade. And so it's really fun that he's involved in what he's got now, 6 or 7 horses with us. Yeah. And just bringing in new people to get them excited about the business, I think is really, that's what I love. I love doing that. And I think I've kind of got that from my dad, as he was real good at that too, is just, getting people excited about it. And so I think he was, so instrumental in California racing. And one of the CTBA magazines had the photo of saying that California loses an icon, and he was iconic. And see, there I go. But a very valuable asset to the business was Dad.
Yes.
What sort of a man was he? What sort of a man was Buddy Johnston?
He was a very kind man, and he was a kind person that everybody loved. I don't know of anyone that didn't love him. They met him, and that's just the way it was. So yeah, he was easy to love. He was easy to know, and he knew horses so well that it was a good combination.
He was, I feel, probably the kindest, most generous person you would ever meet. He lit up a room, with his smile. He lit up a room, and he was kind to everyone. There was not a person that he was not kind to. And like Mom said, to know him was to love him. He was just genuine and hardworking, loving. He loved his family so much.
We met in the 8th grade, and we went all through junior high and high school together. And after our 2nd year in college, we got married, and we never had a fight. So that tells you how nice he had.
Yeah. No, he was very, very loving, very kind, very generous, very giving, very good horseman. And but yeah, I think he loved his family and his horses more than just about anything else. So, which is good, because everybody loved him as well.
And it remains very much a family affair, doesn't it too, Mary? I know that your husband is involved, and your dad was thrilled when he got involved with the sport, but also your son's playing a major part in the operation now as well, right?
Yes, absolutely. When after Dad passed, and we were going to make some changes, John Harris very kindly and cordially offered for us to bring the stallions over there. We had 2 stallions left at the time, Bronsky and Acclamation, to stand at Harris Farms. And then he said, but I'd also like to have Johnny be my manager, if that's fine with you. So Johnny actually manages both farms. Technically, he manages the horse division for Harris Ranch, and then also for us. So he's very active. He's loved it. He grew up on it. We joke about the fact that he was the first foal born on the ranch up here, because when we moved up here in '84, he wasn't born yet. And so, so he was the first foal born on the ranch. And so it's always kind of been a part of him. And every time Dad would come up, he would just hang on his hip and follow him around. And he learned a lot from my dad. And
they think so much alike that it's really good, because we can just keep the same thing going that we've been doing for 60 years.
Yeah,
because they think alike.
Yeah, they do. They're a lot alike in personality and horsemanship. Both just very, very good horsemen. And so it's great having them. My daughter works here on the ranch still. She's been working here for 25 years. She's my do-it-all, everything. And of course, my husband, forever. And so yeah, it's definitely a family thing.
Yeah. And so they're fourth generation. Wow. And I wonder if
Yep.
there's going to be a fifth generation as well that takes over the business.
Yes, it's very possible. We're from the office that we're in. My grandson and his wife and 2 children are living in. So yeah, it could just keep going.
Yep, I got the 5th generation. They grow up. Hopefully I'm still around. Who knows?
I don't think you're going anywhere yet, Judy.
No.
You and Dwayne Lucas will be around for decades.
Oh yeah, we got to stay around for a while. We're almost the same age.
I'd love to talk to you both a little bit more about acclimation if we can just turn back the clock a little bit. And of course, he was just an absolute monster, and particularly in 2011. I mean,
Yes.
all up, he won 11 of 30 starts, just shy of 2 million in earnings. He was Buddy's all-time leading earner, I believe. But 2011, take us back to that year, the year that he won the Pacific Classic, when he won 5 straight graded stakes races. How much of a thrill did this horse take you on?
Really a big thrill. And for a stallion, he was a very nice horse. And he had the very first stall at each track we went to. He'd had the first stall. So when Buddy and I would arrive in the morning, he was right there. And he wanted to put his head right on Buddy's shoulder. And so while they were having a good time, I'd go down and get some carrots for him. But he was very friendly, besides being very fast. And,
yeah, he was quite he was a thrill. He made me cry after every race because I always said he always gave it 110%. He just once he was in front, he would do whatever it took to stay there, and fought off some really good horses, right, and to win all those graded stakes. And he just had a heart of gold. He was not only talented, but he had a big heart. Dad always used to say, I'd rather have a horse with heart than with talent. He had both. He had the heart and the talent, which was very nice. So he actually, he brought us a lot of joy, a lot of thrills. And he's still doing it. He's done very well. His progeny are doing well. He and Vronsky, respectively, I believe, were like number 3 and number 6 for progeny earnings last year. So, in the state. So, he's doing well. And we're very, very proud of him. He was our big guy. Yeah. Still is.
No,
So.
what a legend he was indeed. And one of the stallions, of course, that's currently standing on your farms. And are there other names from over the years, aside from acclimation, that, when you think about some of the great horses, because you've had over 200 stakes horses that have come through your farm, what are the other ones that spring to mind that are, make you well up and shed a tear like acclimation, Mary?
Well, we've had some very nice stallions, Windy Sands and
Real Good Deal.
Real Good Deal. Actually, I brought Real Good Deal into the world. He was one of the biggest foals I have ever seen in my life. And I was having a baby shower that night. And so the men had gone off to the coffee shop, which was like 45 minutes away because we were out in the country. And he got ready to foal. And I said, "Oh, girls, we have to wait a minute for the shower because I got to bring this baby into the world." And I have never seen a foal that big, and brought him in, and he ended up being a very nice horse. And we had Lucky Mel. He had a lot of good horses.
What about Darling June that you?
Oh, Darling June, yes. Darling June was as a 2-year-old, was the leading 2-year-old in America, which in those days, I think she might have been one of the first fillies that was ever leading 2-year-old over top of the colts and everything. And yeah, we've had some very nice horses. And we had Flying First Class that went to the Preakness with Wayne Lucas a few years ago. And very nice. They've kept us going.
They sure have. And now you do most of your racing predominantly these days under the Elwood Johnston Trust name.
Right. Mhm.
But as you sort of alluded to before, you've brought lots of other partners into the sport. Can you
Right.
talk a little bit more about some of those other partners, and how much more of a thrill is it to be able to share ownership with friends and share the thrill of winning, I guess, with friends?
I think that's probably one of the biggest thrills, because when your horse is at the top of that stretch and running, it doesn't matter if it's a $5,000 horse or a $5 million race. It's just so exciting, and to see all of them get that same excitement, and you never get over it. I get just excited with every race that I did 40 years ago. So it's an excitement that it's hard to explain, but it's nice to have them enjoy it with you.
Yeah. We have, like I mentioned, Ken Taveldi, my friend from school, and then Bruce and Marilyn Halpern are a couple, and they love it. They love the races. They love the horses. They've come up to visit them when they're home, and that kind of a thing. And Integrity Racing, Leonard, he's just recently been getting into partnerships with his group. I believe that Kings River Night is his first stake horse that he's ever had, and they are just, they say it's the thrill of a lifetime to be a partner, and even whatever the percentage is, just to be a partner, to have their name on it, and to be there. They go to every race. Leonard will have anywhere from 6 to 15 people in the winner's circle with us. And so it's fun to get people excited about it and enjoy it with us. It's not only a family affair, but it's friends. It's fun. It's fun to have the friends come in, and we've got another friend that I went to school with, Mitch Visser, is just brand new. My son put a package together for him of buying a percentage of 4 2-year-olds. So he's going to be having young ones coming up. So he's just thrilled to death. He can't wait till the first start this summer. So it's good. It's good to get people excited about it. I like it.
No, there's nothing like the thrill of thoroughbred horse ownership. If you're watching this, reach out to Mary and Judy. Maybe they can get you involved in a horse, perhaps.
That's right. That's right. We've always got something for sale.
Ladies, why don't you tell me, what is it about the sport that just keeps you coming back for more? What do you just really love about it? And how do you, I guess, describe the sport to somebody that may not know a lot about it?
Well, I think for me, it's the love of the horse. We love our horses like family. And it's funny because, I like to, when I go to the races, I love the fact that the horses recognize us. Yeah. We will call to them as they're walking into the saddling paddock, and they turn and look and they recognize us. And so to me, it's the love of the horse. It's what they love to do. And so we just love taking care of them, helping them to do what they want to do, helping them to be the best that they can be. And it's just exciting.
I've had people say, how come your horses are always so friendly? All of them. And I said, well, I think it's because they get love from the day they're born until the day they are gone. And it makes a big difference. I know some places they don't have all that love around them. Yeah. But we do love our horses, and I think it shows up.
Yeah, they get loved on here at the ranch, and and we make sure they get loved on down at the track too. But I think a lot to do with that is the family connection and just the love of the horse, and the sport is just in our blood. Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you both for spending some time talking to the TOC today and sharing a little bit about your history in horse racing, and explaining that beautiful photo that we talked about at the start of the interview as well. Thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you at the track sometime. And if you're watching this and you see Mary or Judy, make sure you go up and say hello. But ladies, we'll see you at Del Mar, I think, over the summer.
Sounds good. We'll see you there.
Thank you so much.